Jiho, you've been studying history of China for the whole semester now, and that semester is almost over.
Yep.
So, what's your biggest takeaway?
Well, basically, history actually repeats itself. Like, when people say history repeats itself, like, you can actually tell from the Chinese history, and you can see all the patterns that repeats itself in the Chinese history if you look at it closely.
Okay, so what are some examples of events in Chinese history that actually repeats itself?
Like, there are many patterns, like how the Western invaders came in and tried to change the Chinese ways. And this would lead to rebellions, such as the Boxer Rebellion and the Taiping Rebellion. And in present day China, they're having Western problems as well too.
Okay, so so can you explain in detail about how the Taiping and Boxer Rebellion kind of started?
Well, basically, the Boxer Rebellion was the Western intrusion and trying to change China's ways of living. And when the Chinese like were annoyed by the Westerners, they rebelled against the Westerners, which is basically what's happening right now in China. Like, we saw a video just last week of a Western drunk man thinking that he can do whatever he wants in the streets of China, going around raping underage girls, trying to rape them. But then, in fact, then when he's just being stupid and not thinking about Chinese history and how it affected the Chinese people before. Like, this is exactly how the Boxer and Taiping Rebellion started. Like, the Western invaders, the Westerners thought they could do whatever they wanted to the Chinese and that they could change their ways. Also, in China today, the Western influences are changing the way people think, as in like talk shows, variety shows, music, websites, and everything else. The Western's type of government, like the democracy and capitalism, I don't think that really helps with the Chinese people, as because obviously we can see that the Chinese can't easily adapt to the Western style government. And every time they try to, it always ends up in a bad way, such as Mao and the long hard years.
So, okay, how did Western influence specifically affect the Taiping Rebellion?
Or the Taiping Rebellion was started by a Chinese man who believes in Christianity named Hong Xiuquan. But But if it wasn't for the Westerners trying to convert the Chinese into Christianity, this wouldn't have happened. And I'm afraid that in modern day China, with all its Western influences, it will happen once again. It will happen once again. And we can already see that the Western has great influential power on the Chinese people, because the Chinese have changed their media to to basically model after the Westerners, such as their Twitter, their YouTube, and all their other TV shows. And I'm afraid that in the future, the Taiping Rebellion and the Boxer Rebellion version 2 will be created in our modern times.
Thank you, Jiho. I see that you have learned a lot in Chinese history.
Yep, and I paid a lot of attention. Thank you, Mr. Burrow.